Dragon Ball's cosmology isn't just massive, it's metaphysically layered, from a 3D mortal realm to realms where space and time don't even apply. Dragon Ball slowly builds a hierarchy of existence, from the living world all the way to Zeno's throne. I'll explain exactly how this cosmology works, not just with tiering, but with logic and scans. Let's begin. Alright, we start at the very bottom, the living world, aka the mortal plane. This is the realm which contains Earth, Namek, Universe 7's planets. All of that exists in the standard space-time fabric we'd call 3D+. Why the living world is 3D? First off, everything in the living world follows the rules of linear space and linear time. This realm is bound to physical causality. We get the clearest layout in this scan from the Daisenshu, Volume 4, which shows the entire structure of Universe 7's cosmology. The living world is placed at the bottom, beneath Otherworld, beneath Kaio Realm, and it's shown inside its own self-contained space-time bubble. The universe is structured with the living world at the bottom, the afterlife in the upper world, and outside that is the world of the gods. Which mentions that Beerus destroying the universe would erase the entire observable space-time, referencing the mortal realm directly. So the living world is bound to observable space, bound to measurable time, and completely dependent on three-dimensional spatial causality. Nothing in it breaks that structure until you ascend out of it. So we've covered the living world, your standard 3D plus time sandbox, but the second you die in Dragon Ball, you're transported somewhere else entirely, somewhere beyond the rules of mortal space-time. That's where the other world comes in. This realm is where souls travel after death, home to King Yema's palace, Snake Way, King Kai's planet, and of course, heaven and hell. But the real question is what makes this place different dimensionally? Why do we call it 4D or higher? Right away, we're told the other world is not part of the normal universe. The afterlife is located above the universe and is separated from it by the Enma Gate. In the official Dragon Ball GT Perfect files, it describes the other world as a space-time dimension of its own, with its own flow of time and laws of reality. And remember, Goku is physically dead when he trains with King Kai, but he's still interacting with space. That means this realm is beyond the standard laws of biology, physics, and mortality, but still has a defined structure and time axis, though it's clearly different from the mortal one. And here's the big one. Fusion limitations don't apply the same way in the other world. In the Buu saga, it's stated that the fusion time limit is different when you're dead, which directly implies time behaves differently here. The other world is full 4D with a separate space-time manifold, only reachable through death or divine transportation. This is where souls go to be judged. It's no longer part of linear mortal causality. That's why we call it the first real ascension above the 3D world. Now here's where it starts getting trippy. The demon realm exists on the opposite side of the universe, completely sealed off from both the living world and the other world. It's the home of beings like Dabura, Demigra, Towa, Mira, and even gods of time-level threats like Mechikabura. This isn't just hell. The demon realm is a cosmic antiverse, as explained in the Shin Budokai and Dragon Ball Heroes timelines. It's also permanently sealed off by a divine barrier constructed by the Kaioshians. The moment you have a god-made seal between realities, you're not just dealing with alternate locations, you're dealing with alternate dimensions of existence. In Dragon Ball Heroes, it's shown that the demon realm is capable of merging with timelines, distorting causality, and even spreading dark energy across multiverses. And characters like Demigra are described as having the ability to manipulate time itself, not just locally, but across parallel timelines. That means you're no longer dealing with a single universe or time axis, you're dealing with a realm that can affect the multiversal structure from the outside in. The demon realm is a fifth-dimensional structure, equal to or above the afterlife, and capable of distorting time, space, and fate itself. The Hyperbolic Time Chamber, also known as the Room of Spirit and Time, is often overlooked. But when you actually break down how this realm works, it becomes one of the most metaphysically complex constructs in Dragon Ball. This isn't just time moves faster inside. It's a dimension where time and space are fundamentally warped, existing outside the regular universe entirely. Why the Hyperbolic Time Chamber is higher dimensional. In the universe, 1 day outside equals 1 year inside. That alone tells you it's not bound to normal causality. In the manga and guidebooks, it's stated that the chamber is in another dimension. In Daisenshu 7, it says, "The room of spirit and time is in a special dimension connected to the lookout. Time passes at a vastly different rate inside." That's not just time dilation. That's dimensional disjunction. Time doesn't just move faster, it's structured differently. Gotenks in the Buu saga tears a hole in reality from the inside of the chamber to the outside world, showing the fabric of that dimension is distinct and separable from the regular universe. This is further reinforced in Super, where the chamber is said to have a different flow of time, and it requires divine-level energy to enter or maintain. And in Dragon Ball Heroes, the chamber is used to train Multiversal Plus characters like Zeno Goku, showing it still functions even in realities that contain infinite timelines, which is argued to 5D, non-linear causality plus parallel time structure. Alright, now we're stepping into the metaphysical deep end. The world of Void is where the Tournament of Power takes place, a realm selected by Zeno himself for a very specific reason. It has no time, no space, no matter, no gravity, nothing. This isn't a poetic description. The Daizenshu, the anime, the manga, and official statements are very literal about what this place is. Why the world of Void is Outerversal. Daizenshu, and later Dragon Ball Super itself, states, the world of Void is a space that has no time. It is a world of infinite nothingness. The moment you say no time, you're already beyond 4D. No time equals no temporal axis. And without space, you're beyond 3D too. This realm has no coordinates, no dimensions, no framework. Even Goku and Jiren's fight, which breaks through space-time inside the world of Void, doesn't damage the realm itself. Why? Because there's nothing to damage. It's beyond duality, beyond dimensional constraints, a pure canvas of non-reality. In metaphysics and fiction scaling, this type of realm is classified as Outerversal, or 1A, because it exists outside the totality of dimensional structures. This is the highest naturally accessible realm in the Dragon Ball multiverse, and it's completely unbound by time and space. And that's exactly why Zeno chose it, because only in a place beyond structure can true multiversal destruction occur without consequence. Up next is the multiverse of timelines and time rings, and how it scales the verse into 5D plus territory cleanly. So when Zamasu and Goku Black enter the scene in the future Trunks arc, we're introduced to something fundamental that completely changes the cosmological scale of Dragon Ball. Multiple coexisting timelines, each with their own space-time continuum, but this isn't just what-if storytelling, it's canon law now. And once you understand what this means dimensionally, you'll realize we've completely left the 4D scale behind. In Dragon Ball Super, the Supreme Kai reveals that every time someone interferes with the past, an entirely new timeline is created, not overriding the old one, but existing alongside it. Time travel creates a new, independent timeline. The original still exists separately. Each time ring corresponds to one alternate timeline, and it's confirmed there are at least 5 or more parallel timelines in the DBS multiverse, each with their own space-time fabric, histories, and divine structure. These aren't branching paths, these are entire universes with their own timeline axis. That means each timeline is its own 4D construct, and when a structure contains infinite or multiple 4D constructs, it becomes 5D by definition. This is further supported by Zamasu's plan to conquer all realities across all timelines, showing that some entities in the verse can perceive and interact across the timeline manifold. Even the Time Patrol in Dragon Ball Heroes uses a model where timelines exist in a higher space, connected by divine constructs like the Scrolls of Eternity and Time Nest, where events can be rewritten across multiversal branches. This kind of structure is metaphysically identical to a 5D framework, where each point represents a 4D space-time universe. That's 5D scaling, no headcanon, just canon structure plus metaphysical logic. Next up is the final and highest layer, the Zeno realm and Grand Priest domain, where time, space, multiverses, and even narrative causality fall apart. This is where dimensional logic starts to collapse, where even the laws of existence cease to apply. Everything we've discussed so far, 3D space, 4D time, 5D timelines, all of that operates within a structured reality, a hierarchy of realms, rules, and gods who maintain it. But there is one being and one domain that stands above it all. In Daizenshu 4 and again in Super, the cosmology chart shows the entire multiverse as a stack of universes beneath the other world, with space-time above that, and finally, Zeno's realm sits completely outside the diagram. It is explicitly said that Zeno exists outside of time and space. His throne lies in a place that has no universes, no timelines, no space, no time, no causality, no structure. Even the world of Void, which is already stated to lack time and space, is below Zeno's realm, used by him as a battleground. So if the world of Void is Outerversal, then the place that commands it must exist on an even higher ontological layer. Now enter the Grand Priest, who is consistently referred to as the strongest being in all the universes besides Zeno. But here's the key. The Grand Priest doesn't just exist in Zeno's realm, he maintains it. He commands angels, supervises time, and repairs reality when the multiverse is affected. In Dragon Ball Heroes, the Grand Priest is even shown to have access to the divine causal scrolls, which contain events across all timelines able to be rewritten or reset at will. This means he exists in a position beyond linearity, beyond cause and effect, and is actively managing the entire multiversal narrative. That's not just 5D, it's an outerversal scale. Then you've got Zeno, the Omni King, who can erase entire timelines, gods, universes, and even conceptual structures like the world of Void. And he doesn't do this with power, he does it with existential erasure. When Zeno erases, there is no trace left. Not even the concept of the universe remains. This is beyond power, beyond energy, beyond dimensions. Zeno doesn't exist within reality. He exists outside it. He doesn't operate on attack potency. He operates on cosmological authority. Zeno's realm transcendent domain beyond all narrative structure, 1A, Outerversal plus. So when people say Dragon Ball characters are just planetary or universal, they're missing the entire vertical hierarchy of the series. Dragon Ball isn't just a battle manga, it's a metaphysical odyssey, from dying and entering alternate afterlives, to ascending through timelines, to finally reaching true narrative transcendence through Zeno and the Grand Priest. From 3D to one Outerversal, Dragon Ball contains it all. So the next time someone says Dragon Ball's just about throwing hands, remind them this ain't just a story about power, it's a hierarchy of existence, a climb from 3D space to Outerversal realms, from mortals and martial arts, to gods that govern time, to a throne that sits beyond reality itself. Because Dragon Ball doesn't just scale in strength, it scales in meaning.